Emo 99% of the rumors out there right now are misinformation. Keeps you on the roller coaster. But it is clear they are making great progress. They are having meetings right now to talk about the withdrawal of US troops starting in September. For them to pull the troops out, they had to have already revalued and fully completely paid the US back, US sanctions off, all that. Iraq has to be 100% done with everything for the United States to remove the troops. That's the very last step. August is looking good. A lot is coming to a point in August. Iraq is opening up 4 military manufacturing plants to produce military equipment and weapons. Isn't that saying the sanctions will be off? Frank, your country has no sanctions whatsoever of any kind. This YouTube commercial that's coming out, you're going to be seeing soon. This is pretty big. They're just going to talk more about the monetary reform, and now they're going to tell the international world publicly. It is not just for the Iraqi citizens. It's for the world to see and understand Iraq's monetary and economic reforms. This is an excellent way to reach out to international investors. All this time they've been doing all these meetings in Washington. About 48 hours ago they have come up with an agreement to reduce forces. Alak went to Washington about 10 days ago, unannounced visit. He met with the US Treasury and the US Federal Bank, had to do with exchange rates, other currencies. They're going to be talking about banking, finance, development, sovereign guarantees. Ultimately, Iraq is going to have bilateral relations in security with the US in finance, development, all those things. Baghdad submits a proposal to Washington to withdraw international coalition forces. Still hearing the timeline is set for the US drawdown of troops in Iraq. In other words, Iraqis will now be taking care of Iraq. There will still be troops in Iraq on the bases to safeguard the region, but not to handle the day-to-day stuff. Cooperation in communication and training. Washington talks reveal a new Iraqi-American understanding. If you'd been holding on to your dinars for at least 10 years, you have more than doubled your money. That's not including any change to the exchange rate, because if the exchange rate changes, then you get that back once you cash out. In other words, if you tell the bank I'd like to get it in USD, they go, okay, no problem. And please transfer that to my American account. Just something to think about. I may actually do this. I'm going to reach out to them and see what it takes and what happens. If I can get 10% on it annually, I'll take it. Heck, I might buy more and deposit more. Something to think about. Iraqi bank announces investment deposits with returns up to 10%. That's a really good return. Imagine if 20 years ago you'd have made a deposit and been able to get back 10% back annually while it's just sitting there. You'd have made a ton of money by now. You see, some of us have millions of Iraq dinars. Let's just say, for the sake of it, somebody like me, I got 5 million, I deposit it. It's going to give me 10% return on my investment. I'll take 500,000 Iraqi dinar back annually. That's a nice little return. And just let it sit there while I'm waiting. If the exchange rate changes, I can always have them return it to me in USD. Everything is pointing to August. I really feel that's when the rate is changing. Everything seems to be hovered and centered around the nucleus of August being their accession to the world trade. Somewhere around mid-August. That's when we're going to see most of their critical steps coming forward. It's amazing what's happening right now. We're definitely in the period for the rate change. It's here. It's right in front of us. Iraqi banking system. A significant increase in the number of bank accounts and the volume of deposits for citizens. Quote, the banking system in Iraq is gradually regaining citizens' confidence. In Iraq, economic and political challenges over the decades have provided a strong justification for keeping money at home rather than in banks. However, the accession of the Iraqi Deposit Insurance Corporation, ICDI, to the International Association of Deposit Insurers was a decisive step in improving confidence in the banking system. Since its accession, Iraq has witnessed a significant increase in the number of bank accounts and the volume of deposits. This development enhances Iraq's ability to attract investment and support economic growth by converting savings into productive investments.